We are rolling.
We're rolling. Slap a number. Roll, baby, roll.
This is episode 383, y'all.
SlapperCast, number one rock and roll podcast in the entire bloody every verse, all verses.
Every verse.
Yeah. We are just a duo today. We had the surgery boy. He can't make it today. They didn't get all the red off, so there's still some red residue. But they're gonna keep scrubbing, keep dipping him in the sheep dip, and he's gonna be back with us next week. But I saw him today, Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. That was a couple of days ago, and I hope everybody had a great Father's Day. Turbo, I know, had a great Father's Day on the couch, leg up, some good looking broad, rubbing his feet and bringing him food, and it's pretty. He's pretty happy. Yeah, and I think everybody else that we're supposed to have on here today is out trying to become a father. So just like to say, beware all the stray animals in the alleys. Watch your back tonight. Father's Day is upon you. What's been going on with you?
Been doing a lot of web design work this week, which has been great.
Web design work. Talk about that. What has been going on? Tell us about your job, your daytime business. What is it?
It's called SmalleyPress. It is a side business. I've been doing web design for 20 years at least. It's always been, until recently, it was mostly just word of mouth because I wasn't really seeking out work, but now I am. So if you know anybody who needs a website or needs help with their website they already have, I'm your man.
Where can we go to check out your wares, your work?
SmalleyPress.com. That shows you most of the websites I built, not all of them, including, of course, Blaggards.com.
You're working with some local bands. You're doing some of their websites. So all their stuff can be there on SmalleyPress.com?
Yep. Currently, I'm building a website for Fio y Loco.
Fio y Loco. Very eclectic, very tongue-in-cheek, good players, good energy. We've known those chaps for a while. And you're also doing Moses Guest, who we're intimately attached to those chaps. James Edwards, of course, and but all the just wonderful band. They got some Houston dates coming up, so check out what Chad did to their website.
Yeah, I do their website, Moses Guest. I also do Graham Guest's website, the lead singer, songwriter, guitar player in Moses Guest. And I just did Rick Thompson's website, their keyboardist. Go check out all these sites, but definitely check out Rick's. I mean, that's one of my latest things I put up, but you get to hear his original compositions on that site, which are amazing. He's an incredibly talented guy.
Excellent. Yeah. So that's all good news, but still, check it out. And if you or your company or your friends company, you need any web work done, you talk to Chad GBT right here, and he'll set you up. I've been gone for the last week. I went down to the British Virgin Islands, which are now just the islands. You're welcome. I went down, stayed on a yacht for just under a week, and had some great. I'll send you some photographs. But just cool, just magnificent.
Did you get any video while you were there? I can clip in. Maybe?
I basically left the phone in my cabin. I wanted to just take in as much as I could.
Sure.
Snorkeling, a few days, and just every chance I got, I was in the water. Not my first time being on a yacht. First time being on a yacht for extended period, and it is very nice. I think it was Frankie Boyle that said, a Scottish comedian, who said, being on a yacht is like being in a Motel 6 on roller skates. And there's no better description, no matter how luxury filled and how many amenities and how comfortable it is. It's still a Motel 6 on roller skates. I just can't get a better description than that. Really comfortable and just a delightful trip. If you get a chance, if water is your thing, if the ocean's your thing, especially that water where you can it's an endless view, and snorkeling and just seeing, at any given time, 10, 20 different species of fish, all shapes and sizes and colors. And I saw sea turtles that you could actually probably build, a small house on. I didn't.
Wow.
I didn't, but they're just magnificent creatures and Um, the white sands and we tour a lot. I'm sure it's not your first time here. You're visiting with us, Blaggards, on our weekly SlapperCast. But we do a lot of touring, and especially when we get out in the West, and when you start hitting New Mexico, and you get into Arizona and parts of California, and you see these landscapes and these mesas and these canyons and these mountains and these rock formations, and you see all that, and you think to yourself, "Wow, that used to be underwater." And then you go diving in a place like in the British Virgin Islands. Essentially, is this big mountain range, and a lot of them are underwater. So what I found myself doing was when I was underwater, I was snorkeling and just seeing the same terrain submerged, and all those fish and coral, and just a magnificent, just stunning beauty. So just a wonderful time. I'm thrilled to be back, though. I have to say, I'm just delighted to be back. Miami, I had to fly into Miami and then out to Tortola, both times, coming in and going out. And flying into Miami is I used to live in Fort Lauderdale. I used to live in Florida for a time, and flying into Miami is so fun. It's a whole new species of people. It's just end of story. Just always is. And it's such fun to see the contrast of your Houston, heads, and then you get to Miami and you see it's night and day. And I lived in like I say, Fort Lauderdale, but I was I don't want to say what I did in North Miami, but I did something in North Miami, and a few times, and it was somebody in North Miami that made my trip to Texas possible, and in essence landed me at Houston. So much to do on that later, but North Miami, Miami Beach, it's its own planet. End of story. It's like being dropped off in a jewelry shop with an ocean view, and a jewelry / perfume shop on with an ocean view. The John Lennon line on their live record, the early BBC, I think it was BBC sessions. He goes, "If the people in the people in the balcony would clap your hands, and the people in the front just rattle your jewelry."
Yes.
That's Miami. That's Miami. I mean, you just can't. It's like trying to sneak up on somebody in a minefield, because everybody's just got just gaudy amounts of and the surgery. No offense, Turbo, but the surgery on these people, I don't. It's like they're trying to smuggle their couch in their ass, or put a new shelving system in their lips, and their cheekbones look like they're trying to fly at some point. It's hysterical. And I was on the phone to my son on the way back and talking to him, and he asked me, he goes, "Are you okay?" Oh yes, I'm more than okay. I'm so okay. I said, I'm just being visually smacked about the Miami airport, just watching. It's like watching a tennis match with 80,000 balls in the air. It's magnificent. So Miami, if you get a chance, go to Miami International Airport and feast your eyes. It's worth it.
I was trying to remember. I think the only time I remember being in Miami is when we played at Tobacco Road. On that one tour, gosh, almost 20 years ago now.
Yeah.
And we just drove in for that one gig and drove back. We were staying in Lake Worth at John Joe's house, I believe, at the time. John Joe Devlin, not related. Good friend of ours, bartender in Lake Worth, Florida. But yeah, all I remember is driving in and playing that show, and it started to rain, so we stopped it early. We drove back. And as you were saying recently in another episode, we never got paid for that gig too, apparently. Which I forgot about that part.
But I would do it all again. Yeah. I would play that place again, because the history, and of course it's a parking lot now, or it's a block of flats or something.
Right, it's gone.
It's gone.
Yeah,
but
it was a pretty cool bar inside. Yeah. You can tell there's a lot of history there.
A lot of history, and very, very enjoyable. It was a kind of a throw together gig. Another news flash for bands, especially newer bands that are traveling, always travel with your own PA. Always, always, always have your PA with you. You will never regret. Well, you will regret it if it gets stolen, but you won't regret it in a situation like that, because they were going to give us a couple of speakers on sticks, very, very, very old, decrepit, crappy sounding speakers on sticks, whereas we had our gear with us and are able to do our sound all the time. Always bring a PA with you if you can. And I'm going to segue now to a show that I saw before I left, a show by Mr. Doug Stanhope, easily one of the greatest of our time. I saw an interview recently where the comedian was talking about his favorites, and the comedian's name was Anthony Jeselnik. Just one Anthony, I stuttered. So Anthony Jeselnik, who is a little darker comedian, been a favorite of mine for many, many years. The first time I saw him was on one of the Comedy Central roasts, but I followed him. I followed his career, and I followed his channels, or whatever you call them, whatever you kids call them. But he was talking about Doug Stanhope, and then a long time ago, and I saw this episode recently. It came back up. Dave Attell did the Insomniac tour, and Dave Attell, who was one of these prolific, untamed comedians. He's out of New York, and he's just one of these guys that he doesn't repeat a joke. When he uses his set, and other comics will tell you, they've asked him, "Hey, can I have that joke? You're not going to use it anymore. Can I have it?" They're like scavengers. But he was saying also about Doug Stanhope, Frankie Boyle, who I was saying, described living on a yacht or being on a yacht as being on roller skates in a Motel 6. He listed Doug Stanhope. The reason why I'm saying this so many times is because we were lucky enough to have Mr. Doug Stanhope on our podcast. I was lucky enough to stay at Doug Stanhope's house. He and his wife Bingo were so gracious and so generous, and just magnificent people. And Doug was playing at the Improv. The reason why I'm bringing all this up is because comedy needs more. It's just like live music; it needs more sunlight. It needs more attention. It needs more support. It needs more. Now, Doug had. I want to say the room was sold out, and if it wasn't, it was very close, but it should have been people turned away. It's the Improv in Houston, and Doug has a very, very deep connection to Houston. He loves Houston. He's got very good friends here, and like I say, we were lucky enough to have him on our podcast, and he was easily the best guest we've ever had. Right, yeah. Chad? I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
You got a friend in Bisbee. You calling?
No, he's calling us.
Oh, he is? Oh. Wow. I wouldn't call us.
I have no idea how to fucking use Skype.
Oh, no.
That's 2011.
Yeah.
I still use Hotmail. Hotmail, you have to have Skype.
He told all those stories too, the Houston stories you're talking about on the show. And as you see, you go watch, it's in 2 parts. But one of the coolest things about talking with him is that it wasn't like an interview. We were just chatting, and at one point he's actually sort of interviewing us. He was because we didn't really know us yet at that point, so he was asking us questions about. It was just really just. I mean, like everybody who knows Doug will tell you he's just an incredibly genuine guy, and just real down to earth, cool dude.
Are any of you sober?
Yeah, I'm sober. I'm sober for 30. I'm bad with math too. I'm sober since, I'll tell you exactly when, 88.
All right. Wow. America ruined you.
Yes.
You moved here in 87.
Yeah.
Must have been a good year.
I went straight to South Boston. What are you supposed to do?
Yeah, I guess. Well, or join the Whitey Bulger's gang.
Yeah. He doesn't suffer fools. He doesn't like wankers. It's well worth it. Maybe I talk you into putting some of the links in there, maybe do a couple of cuts. But what was so interesting to us, and Chad and I have remarked on this many, many times, is when we were on with him, he was making us work, historically, musically, it wasn't what is your favorite color? How many times have you slept with the same dead whore? You know, there's never a dull section. Everything was boom, boom, boom. You know, like, and he's not trying to floor you. He's just, his mind works in a different. And so that brings me to his set. I want to also say here, this is Catalina Coffee in Houston, Texas.
Hey.
Do yourselves a favor, kids.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tara. So his show at the Improv in Houston, Texas, 2 weeks ago now, or depending when you watch it, but it was beginning of June, and it was some of his best stuff. I say that every time I've seen him, which has only been 3 times, but I've seen all his work. This was easily one of his best, and I don't want to rat him out, but he wasn't drinking on this night. He was he had got into trouble numbers wise with his liver, and he did a bit on that, and so he was going to get his liver back into shape, not to keep it there, but to be able to beat the tar out of it again once he got the numbers back. His tagline on a lot of these little clips was, "I'm Doug Stanhope, and that's why I drink." And he's so boundless, deep, fast, brilliant. There's so much to his set, and I text him. It was about a week after the show. We got to meet him afterwards, and of course, so generous with his time again. No, looking at the watch or trying to get it, just really, really generous. But I texted him about a week after the show to say, easily one of the funniest nights I've ever seen. Great, blah 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 blah. But I put as a header, I said, do not, don't respond. I don't want to disturb you. But I just want to tell you, easily one of the greatest nights. And of course, he wrote back, thank you. But he also gave me his number. He also wrote back and said that his liver is back in good. And he's so
cool.
happy because now he's able to go
That's great.
drink again. But yeah, but it was just thrilling to see him in such great form and great spirits, and the material is so good. The material is. It's not a line punchline, or set up punchline. It's stories, and there's so much going on. And he had to ask twice, and the third time was not so nice. But he asked twice. Just put your phones away. Don't, which we have just mentioned on our channel too. But he had asked. He said, "Don't take pictures and don't." We talk about this too, but it's so distracting to see somebody filming your show. I don't mind it when they're filming it. It's distracting when they're staring at their phone, scrolling something else, and are completely bored with what you do, and you're trying to give. You're trying to do an honest and give the price of admission, and more in your performance. But he had asked twice, don't film, don't, and there was still one person doing it. The third time, man, he went off. And the reason why you especially at a comedy show, is these are new jokes. These are well written, and this is such an art. And again, he'd laugh at this, and he would disagree with me. The comedy, stand-up comedy, is such a perfectly timed piece of art. If you heckle in the middle of it, and I'll give you one more example on this too. We went to see Cat Williams last Christmas, and Cat Williams, I believe it was the second to last joke that he was doing. Well, somebody heckled him and threw him off it. Well, he didn't finish that joke. And his Cat Williams is another one of these guys, which he doesn't just deliver a joke. He delivers a buffet of an endless buffet, because it's stuff that makes you think, and you can't just. It's not one sided. It's these multi-dimensional, multicolored, deep, in your face, but then low hanging fruit sometimes, just all this stuff mixed in. So these massive concoctions, and if you heckle them, if you distract them with your phone, and the comedian has to think, fuck, that piece is going to go out before I get a chance to, maybe they're still working on that joke. You're fucking them up, So I'm sorry, I'm way long-winded on this. Again, thank you, Catalina. The time that it takes to put these together and to deliver it, so it's an honest work of art, that you deliver, because the people in Houston at the Improv that night were so grateful for such. You are witnessing history. You're witnessing one of the greatest stand-ups that ever. I don't care. It might be too crass for somebody. It might not be, but you cannot deny the brilliance and the art and the level of perfection that you're watching in this thing. It's in a way, there's a tiny little piece of me that was happy that the guy was filming, because you get to see him go off, because he's a nice person. Yeah. He's a really sweet guy. And you think that he's not. Like Anthony Jeselnik, like you would think that he's absolutely not sweet person. But make him turn, and you're going to wish you didn't. And he went off on the guy, and it was brilliant. So there's a little piece of me that was grateful for that. But then at the same time, you lose. You know that you lose that. Right. A picture. A javelin thrower or a high jumper or something. If you put any obstacle in their way on the way, they're not going to give you the best. Mm-hmm. So I say all that because we have for over 20 years doing this thing. We've seen everybody coming. And I'll also tell you this too. I have, we detest the music stand. We detest the background, the backup or the backing tracks, right? Blaggards have always been offended by that stuff. I figured out, and I could be wrong. Damn you, Catalina. But I could be wrong. But I figured out the music stand / backing tracks for comedy. It is crowd work. And I'm not going to mention any names because he wouldn't mention the fucking names. But he was saying that his he kind of scoffed at the crowd work thing, because crowd work is huge right now. Stavi Halkeas, these are the people that are really good at it. Of course, Frankie Boyle back in the day before he retired. But all these, there's some really good. But Doug Stanhope had said, and he wouldn't give me the name. He wouldn't really. But he did kind of say under his breath about these guys doing crowd works where they plant their people in the audience to give them the. Okay. And I think that's the backing track / music stand of comedy.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. That's nuts. I hadn't thought about that, but apparently that is a thing, huh? Yeah. I was gonna stop. I was like, what do you mean by crowd work? But you obviously answered that. I never heard of that term before.
Well, it's huge in comedy right now, and it's so poorly done by roast comics, and I can't say all of them. I am not saying all of them. I have a few in my head that I don't. There's a lot of comics that I just. Kevin Hart, for instance, I think he's one of the highest paid comedians on the planet right now, and I've never laughed at a joke. I know Will Ferrell is not a stand-up comedian. I've never laughed at anything Will Ferrell has done. Back in the day, I think it was Dane Cook, who I just didn't like because I saw his comedy and I never laughed at a joke, and I was offended because he would I guess he's good looking, and he would kind of use that as his, because the place would be mobbed with women. But then, of course, you see an Anthony Jeselnik or a Daniel Tosh, and you see how they're not bad looking fellas, but they're fucking material. I mean, you can put them in a hole, cement it up, and their shit's gonna be funny. It's well thought of, it's well executed, and it will stand the test of time. It will stand, like Doug Stanhope will stand. His jokes will stand, and again, the reason why I'm mentioning all this because Doug Stanhope should be coming back to Houston, and he's going to be doing a best of. The reason why he said he's coming back to do a best of is because he went on YouTube and he went on all these places. He doesn't own his material, so all these years of comedy, he doesn't own his jokes that he fucking wrote. So he's coming back to do. I think that we should. We think we broke a little bit of news last week. We're trying to bring back it's not going to be Stout Irish Fest, but we are going to bring back a Blaggard Festival that's going to feature, friends of ours and stuff that to be determined. But I mean, if we can get this thing up and running fast enough, I bet we could do a best of, thing with him. So
what do you mean he doesn't own his jokes? You're not just talking about the specials he recorded. You're talking about the content that he performed in them, or what do you mean?
I believe it's the specials and the jokes that he had that you'll see on YouTube. I don't believe he has a. I don't believe that he has like we'd have we have ours on NFA recordings. He doesn't have them on a.
They're not published.
Published. Yeah, so he's coming back to do his best of, and his best of is
okay. I got you.
It's pretty. I mean, again, I'm completely biased because I think the world of him, but it's one of those things that when if you like the Bill Hicks, the Richard Pryor, like I said, I think Chris Rock, I think Dave Chappelle, all these huge big names. Doug Stanhope stands alone, but in that he has to be mentioned in the very best of. The jokes are the jokes, the stories, he's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So I say that because we've talked forever about live music is on life support. The shows and the attendance and the live stream, whatever it is, it's low, and it needs to get a kick back in there. It needs to get that adrenaline shot to the heart, and again, the camaraderie with the musicians and the comedians and the artists, that has to be stronger. That has to be a better. I'll give you another. Just like we were talking about Moses Guest, we're talking about Lone Feather, we're talking about the Mighty York, we're talking about all these people, all these local guys that we like, and there's always a handout. There's always a, hey, here's a phone number, call that. There's always room to help. There's always somebody there, and that bond needs to be strengthened, and we need to push. Stand-up comedy has got to be pushed back out there. I haven't given up on having a stand-up comedian. When we do the Lone Feather Blaggard shows, I haven't given up on having an MC do a little 2 to 5 minute set in between as the bands switch over. So I'm still gonna work on that, but you're doing yourself a disservice by missing this, and having a living legend. I hate that phrase, but it's how you describe him. But having somebody of that caliber walking it, living on this earth at the same time as you, and you have access to go see him, let's make that
Yeah.
happen. Let's make that happen.
Yeah, man.
And also, and let me take this very short moment to say, Greg Fugate, I hope you're all right. Greg, our Blaggard friend for at least 20 years, totaled his car. It was a hydroplane. We have had a lot of water, a lot of rain, a lot of just treacherous driving conditions, and his beautiful big black Dodge hydroplaned, and he totaled it. So Greg, we're thinking about you, and hope you're doing well. I know your back's sore right now, but stop whining. We haven't got time for that.
Shit. I didn't know about that. Shit. Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, I talked to him this morning. He seems all right, but again, he's probably still in shock but I saw pictures of it. It's not good. So
fuck.
we do have some stuff coming up. It is now, we're creeping towards the end of June, which these days are just flying by, which is actually a good thing when you realize that it's 120. It feels like it's 120 degrees outside.
Yeah.
Which as we creep towards the end of the month, we've got some shows coming up. We've got some shows coming up with Lone Feather. We have we're going to be doing a show with James Edwards, which put a pin in that because we're going to come back and talk about that. We'll have James on here again. We had a great interview with him 3 episodes ago, so go check that one out. But we'll have James on again. We're also going to have Keith York on here. So what I would advise is take a nap and then do a little cocaine, a little meth, and just be up for a couple of days because he is a pistol. And he's got some stories, and he's a Houston legend. So Keith York, he'll be on here with us. And then, and obviously, we talked about SmalleyPress.com. Go check out Chad's work. If you need any work done, you go talk to Chad. And we're going to, here we go. And Emily, thank you again. It was a couple of weeks ago, but you asked about the live record. Even better news, we're adding to that. We're adding to the thing just because of the different ways that we've been playing some of this old stuff. So it's going to be a live record.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. A lot of fun. So anyway, why don't we let these good people go about their business, and we'll also get Turbo back on here too.
Well, he said he might be sending us a little message. If so, I guess either it's here or you've already seen it. I don't know if he's going to do that or not.
I wouldn't bank on it.
He said he was going to be on drugs around this time.
Oh, so. He is. I went by the hospital to make sure he went in, because he wasn't, I think he was having second thoughts about it. I saw him at the Hooters across the street, and he was kind of like eeny, meeny, miny. He couldn't decide whether to go to the hospital or the Hooters. So he went into the hospital after some coaxing, and got him in there, got him checked in, and I'm sitting there, and this lovely young lady, she's just talking to me, and I was like, man, I think she knows me, and she's talking. Anyway, it turns out Turbo does have a wife, and I got to meet her. So we had a lovely chat, and I got to meet her father, and then Turbo's twin brother, Kurt, and his son, Duke, came in. I got to hang out with them. So we got to spend the day together. It was very fun. And then we got the good news from the doctor that the surgery went very, very well. He said his knee was way, way, way more messed up than they could have imagined. And I said, well, that's on you, Doc. And I smacked him a little bit, just enough to get him excited. And then he said, it should be a good recovery. Then I went over to Turbo's house. I think it was the next day or the day after that. It was the day after, and he was doing his exercises, and he was walking the hall, and he's really he's serious. He's not going to take a shortcut. He's not going to just wish upon a star. He's gonna do the work, and he's excited about getting back. He's excited about and his wife is amazing. She's just a bundle of energy like him, and she dotes over him. She takes care of him, and it's a beautiful thing. So we're going to be in really good shape. but I promised him that we're gonna make it really difficult for him to come back, meaning we're gonna change all the fucking songs. So here we go. SlapperCast episode 838, and we're gonna be here with Turbo next week, and we'll see what happens after that.
Did you say 838?
8:30. What did I say?
You said 838. It's 383.
8:38. Oh yeah.
You inversed it. Yeah.
Yeah. I like 8:38 better. Nobody's fucking keeping score anyway.
Well, yeah, we'll get there.
That's not
years,
true. I would say our lovely friend Kelly Navarro knows what number it is. So 383, yeah. Kelly, thank you.
Yeah.
And this is probably from you too. So, but yes, thank you. And check out the websites. Go see what Chad's been doing, and we're adding some new dates, and we are going to be out on the road with the aforementioned James Edwards, Keith York, and like I said, we're going to make it really hard for Turbo to come back. So if you're the praying type, yeah, learn how to drink coffee and be a man. Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers. See you guys next week.
See you soon. Here we are, boys and girls. Couple of little hungry hippos. I wish you could see the outskirts here. There's some giant ones on the outside. Hopefully they come in. Can't really see them